Thanks, Lalish. How is the lighting and everything from my side? I have a different background because I just moved. So different. Is good? Straight. Let me just check. Great, thank you. She's coming. Literally, I sent her the message, so she should be joining like now. Hi, Nina. How are you? Lovely to see you.
Wonderful to see you.
How are you doing?
Very good. Thank you. And
Very
you?
good morning to you. I know it's bright and early for you. So thank you for doing this first thing in the morning. Very much appreciated.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Happy to be here.
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, I sent you an email. I wanted to keep it very just conversational between us. And I'll break up the conversation just by asking you a few little pointed questions about, wanted to find out about your life, kind of educational background, how you got into spirituality, a bit about your book, about what you're doing these days, things like that. So feel free to share as much or as little as you want. The whole show maximum, probably the conversation, I think will be like anywhere between 20, 25 minutes. So just, keep it flowing. I would say just try to, in your head, maybe keep the responses to like, 4-ish minutes, 4-5 minutes, kind of no more than that, because I think that will allow it to be a nice conversation. I may kind of come in between. If I do, it's because I'm trying to break up the conversation, not to interrupt your flow of thought. So just to come in on that kind of thing. So just be mindful of that.
Yes, but otherwise, please do. This is kind of new experience, but I love it.
I think you'd be wonderful. So yeah. So this would be great. Can I just ask, are you on a laptop or are you on a phone?
I'm on a laptop.
Got it. Okay, perfect. No, I think that's all good at the moment. Just wanted to check. Excellent. Yes. Amazing. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go. It is recorded. It is live streamed onto a private Mana TV network. So it's going to go onto there. Then it will be edited from there onwards. So we'll go. We might stop in between. That's fine. And then we can just pause and re-record it if there's any issues or something that you said and you wish you didn't say. We could always do that again.
Yeah, okay. I was going to ask that. Yes.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay. Yes. Well, it just, hope it flows.
It will flow. Yeah. So I'll just count us back from, I'll do a 3, 2, 1, and we'll just go on with it. And we'll just keep it natural as though you and I, Lena, we're just having a conversation. We'll keep it like that.
Yes, absolutely.
Amazing. Cool. All right. So let's get going. So in 3, 2, and 1. Hi everyone, I'm Rita Shah, your host for the Uma Show. Welcome to your one-stop journey for feeling empowered. We're a platform for change. We build confidence. We are your voice. Today, I'm so excited to be joined by Goddess of Go-Getting, Dr. Lena Banerjee Brown. She's joining us all the way from California. She is an author, a psychologist, a mother, and a spiritual practitioner of true light. Welcome, Lena. How are you today?
I'm very well. Thank you so much. And thank you, Rita, for your inspiring and for your generous work. And this very, presence generating style of collaborating. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Well, it's an honor to have you here today. So really, I wanted to, dive right into the conversation. Let's start by talking a bit about your heritage, your childhood, and how you grew up.
So I'm, as you said, in California, in Pasadena right now, in the Los Angeles area. And I came here through a long journey, which began in India, where I was brought up. And I lived all over India, traveling and living all throughout the country because of my parents' service in the Indian Army. And then, I had a short stay in the UK and then came to the USA. Yes. I'm also from a Bengali family. So Bengali is my mother tongue. That's important. The language of the heart. So there's that. And I have a family. I have a husband and 3 wonderful young adult children. My oldest son is from my first marriage, and my younger son and my daughter are from my second marriage. And we have raised all 3 children as one sibling cohort. And then when my older son, became a young adult, he started his own company. And his business partner lost both his parents and came to live with us for a long time. So I consider him a son of mine as well. So it's a full plate.
I love it. Oh, Lena, thank you for sharing that. And what a wonderful family you have. So thank you for that. Now, obviously, you mentioned you're from Bengali descent. I'm an Assamese myself, so very close part of the world to yourself. And as we know, in the South Asian, particularly in northeastern Indian side, education is very, very important. It's given a huge focus. Can you talk to us a little bit about your background in terms of, education and what you did initially for your career?
Yes. So, I was very much on track for higher education. I was sort of a nerdy kid anyway, bookworm and nerdy kid. So in terms of higher education, I studied psychology and University of Delhi, University of Oxford, and Virginia Tech, all the way to a PhD. And then I had my first license in Utah, where I was for a year, and then in California, another license. So I've been a licensed psychologist for many decades. That was my journey. And in terms of the work that I've done with that, I've had the chance to play many different kinds of roles in the profession. I've served as a full professor of clinical psychology. I've practiced in communities, mainly underserved communities, serving children and families, and training graduate students. I've had lots of graduate students over the years, many of whom are also kind of like extended family. Also had the chance to supervise the work of younger professionals over time and then contribute to the scholarly literature. I always had a bit of the writer in me. So that was something that I used to do, in terms of professional writing. And now, as you were saying, I have a new book and been writing in a different way for everyone. Trying to transition, move into that. And then I want to mention that, through my work in the community, I was introduced to the spiritual practice of True Light. A colleague of mine actually introduced me when I was consulting with her in her organization. And I took that up. And since then, I have been doing the most important work of my life. What that is giving and receiving true light, which is giving and receiving divine energy.
Lina, I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to come back to the true light bit and spirituality in a bit.
Yes.
We'll get that bit edited at the end of when you talk about what work you do. Now we'll come back to this true light bit because I want to spend some time talking about. So rewind that thought. We're gonna come back to that.
Sure.
Okay. So that's amazing, Lina. Thank you for sharing that. And I love how you talk about youth, you talk about development, but also you talk about how everyone becomes part of your family. And I think that's really how the energy that I certainly picked up from you when we first spoke. And it's really, really coming across in everything that you do and the work that you're talking about. So obviously we mentioned that you're an author, introduction. Yes. And spirituality is a big part of who you are. I have here a copy of your book, which I'm so proud to own and have. So thank you so much for this. Very enthralling read, and I'm looking to get more and more stuck into this. It's a really, really beautiful book. So I would like to now shift gear a little bit and talk a little bit about the spirituality. Can you talk to us about the inspiration behind your book? What do you mean by true light?
Yes. So true light is divine energy and wisdom. And so is a training that we can take, and then, a practice that can become a part of our daily life. And it's really an effort to help each other develop from deep inside, and to switch to knowing and unknowing, self-centeredness, material-centeredness, things that are part of all of us, especially as we kind of shine a little light on it, reflect a little, and switch it to selflessness and spirit-centeredness, the joy of the pure joy of those aspects, those deeper aspects that are also in all of us. And it makes tremendous difference in the way in which we experience gratitude for the small things in the everyday, the big things, the way we harmonize with nature, the way we are inclined to take care of the environment, and so many other things. It's mainly, it's difficult to actually put in words, but it is very easy and very wonderful to experience.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit about true light. It's energy. It's divine energy and wisdom.
Beautiful. So tell us a little bit. Obviously, you mentioned your background, psychology, teaching, and then you mentioned the spiritual connection. Talk to us about how do we connect the dots? How did you get from one to becoming the spiritual self and writing this beautiful book?
So for the last 10 years, I've had an interdisciplinary group called Circles. So this consists of psychologists who are open to spiritual practice and a spiritual instructor of the practice of true light. And so we've been meeting monthly with the goal of self-training in spirit-centeredness, collegially, and then to have the chance to share this with others. So the book my book, True Light, Ordinary People on the Extraordinary Spiritual Path of Sukyo Mahikari, was a first effort. And Sukyo Mahikari is also a name that we, of our practice of true light. And Sukyo means universal laws, and Ma is truth, and Hikari is light. So it is also the practice of the universal principles of true light. So yes. So we have centers all over the world, and it's very easy to experience this for anyone who would like to. So one of the things that has come out of this effort in terms of a bridge and sharing with the world has been the book, and then we are working right now on a series of online courses called the Spirit-Centeredness series, and this is for mental health professionals. To start off with, we are focusing on that, but we have developed exercises together. And we have been using them ourselves, and we very much want to share this with others to use in workplaces, either to use individually or in dyads or in small organic groups. And they can be in formats of reflection circles to do the exercise in small circles, or they can be light and reflection circles for those who want to experience and learn how to give light as well, to give and receive light, and then to do reflection together. So that's kind of the direction we're going, and that's our hope.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love how you just connect your professional life, your passion together with actually helping. And, mental health, to your point, is something that's so important. And the fact you're focusing the training and education that way. So next, I really want to talk a little bit about challenges. Obviously, as a professional in the psychology space, you are dealing with challenges of others so much, and you help to compartmentalize, you help to problem solve, you help to kind of figure out the plan really in life. How about you personally? Obviously, it's something that we all have to deal with in life, and they strengthen you over time, right? So could you talk to us about a personal or professional challenge that you had yourself, and then what you did to overcome that?
Sure. Like three things pop up, but I'll start with the first one. The first one goes back a long time to when I first came to Pasadena. So picture this: I'm in my 20s, late 20s, early 30s. I have a 4-year-old son, and I'm a single mother. And I have a new role at the university as an assistant professor. And, I'm looking forward to this new chapter, and my director welcomes me, very excited, welcomes me on board, the faculty, and then he gives me this whole slew of responsibilities, and then he gives me some more. And so I remember that moment, and I remember thinking, I could get overwhelmed, but I have a wonderful set of opportunities to go forward. And to get it right, I have to get it right with my son and myself. And I just remember thinking that in the moment. And I turn to him and I say, my first priority is my son. And I have to make sure that he and I land on our feet. And I will fulfill all my responsibilities to the best of my ability. But I want you to know what my priority is, what my first priority is. And I really hope that you will appreciate that. And I remember just kind of, saying this from the heart, and just kind of saying that to ground myself in a moment that could have easily been overwhelming. Following a series of events that had been quite overwhelming and traumatic anyway. So I thought I had to do that. And here I see my director's face. He's like a little bit shocked, a little bit speechless. And I get the feeling from the nonverbals that, I've said something I really shouldn't have said. So I let it go. I feel okay about what I've said, and everything works out because anyway I keep up my end of the bargain. But what was really very moving several years later was that he came by one day. We used to have these retreats before the academic year started, and we were having one of those retreats, and during lunchtime he came by and sat next to me and started talking with me, and he shared that the deepest pain in his life had been that he and his wife were childless. And he said that, he had realized that because of that pain and because of not, deeply resolving or deeply facing that pain, he would tend to overcompensate in the workplace by being very intense with his work and with others at times. And that he really appreciated the chance that I had to raise my son and to grow together. I mean, it moves me even now, to think at how much he had opened up to himself and how much he opened up to me. And so it was one of those moments that stays with me, because it tells me that, if we are grounded and clear and confident, then it not only helps us, but it can really help someone else. It can help others too. And that kind of communication capacity we all have, it's like, the surprises can come from very unexpected places when we are kind of communicating like that. Because if you look at the externals, I'm a brown, young, immigrant woman, rookie at the time, and you have white, male, authority figure, pretty high up in the, career ladder. Then those things are real, but there are things more real beyond that. So that's one story that comes to mind, where barriers broke down, and I didn't even know it at the time, but later I came to know that was a good thing to have done.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for sharing that, because it shows you, to your point, you're grounded, you have that confidence, that communication, that clear communication, but it's also back to the spirituality part of it. It's your conscious, it's you being open and honest with yourself.
Yes.
And that sense of liberation, regardless at that point of how the conversation went and how it was received, is actually, what opens up a lot of barriers. Yes. So thank you for sharing that, because I think it keeps it really real in terms of the challenges that so many folks face in this world, and what can be done about it when somebody actually understands and works with you to try and open back up and said, you know what, thank you for sharing that, because this is something that I've not even had the chance to share myself and do. So
yes,
that's a really, really powerful example. Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
I appreciate that. So switching gear a little bit, obviously your work is very involved, very deep in a lot of ways. What do you like to do for fun?
Oh, honestly, giving light is a joy for me. It's very fun. And there's like one day a month where I actually give light all day at the center. There's a Pasadena center close by. We have 3 centers in Los Angeles, but the one in Pasadena is very close to my home. I spent a lot of time there, usually go there every day. And now we've also been able to build a small home center. So it's just part of an evolving effort with the whole family. But giving light all day is honestly the most rejuvenating thing. And so many deep things happen and change in other people's lives. Our perception grows, especially for psychologists use their minds, but everybody uses their minds, So it really makes so much more available.
Yeah.
I remember, one of my favorite poets was Blake, who spoke about, if the doors of perception were cleansed, we would see things as they truly are, infinite. And I think it's that, there's joy in kind of striving for that, moving towards that. So that's something that's a very joyful part of my life, is giving light. But there are other things too. I mean, I really like writing letters. I don't know, I grew up with that. And till today, I will sit down and write a letter by hand. And I can't tell you, whoever I write to will say how happy they were, how special it is. And my question is, why don't we?
Yeah.
Why don't we write letters? It's such a simple thing to do.
Yeah.
So
it's so wonderful that you shared that, because it's all about what you give, not about the receiving. And also, when I received your book in the post, I remember opening, that beautiful note you wrote me. Oh my gosh, it touched my heart. So I totally understand that, and I grew up in the UK, at the age of having pen pals. We didn't have the internet back then in the early day, right? And just that moment, that sort of like angst, that sort of thrill of opening up a mail in the post with that stamp on it and then sending one back, a couple of weeks later. It's just such a powerful meaning of unity and communication, to your point, and it means so much more. So thank you for sharing that, that your one moment of fun is what you give to others. And I think that really resonates in who you are, really, as a person, and you are that true light that you write about. Thank you for that. So before we let you go, Lina, what advice would you give to any young girls or women that are watching this show today that want to follow in your footsteps?
Go deep. Your spirit really matters. Try to find a disciplined path to train your spirit and tap into its deep and vast positivity, because you will be choosing the path of your well-being for the long course, and along with the collective well-being. And that is something that is so important today and in the forthcoming future. And the technology, it's developing and advancing all the time. It's very wonderful. But so long as the human core, the human potential is truly developing, then technology takes its place, its rightful place, and eases human life rather than runs it. So that's something that I know that you have the wisdom to discern that and to take care. So thank you.
Wonderful words to end on. Go deep. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much, Lina, for sharing your incredible journey with us today. And thank you to our viewers for joining us on this empowerment journey. We want you all to embrace that inner goddess of go-getting. We want you to be bold, be you, be Uma. And that's it. We're done. That was amazing.
Oh, wonderful.
So much longer, Lina. You are so inspiring, really. And I could have easily gone on to challenge number 2 and 3 as well. But I thought, you know what? Let's stick to the time today. But we'll save that for a cup of coffee or a virtual or an in-person.
Wonderful.
That's wonderful. Thank you for that. One other thing I'd like to do is we do like a quick 15 to 20 minutes sort of like promo for the show. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just reintroduce you quickly. And I'm just going to say your name. And so we've got the Uma Show coming up with you. And I'm going to say, Lina, what are we going to talk about on the show? And just in literally 10 seconds, if you just say we're going to be talking about, my journey as a psychologist, an immigrant, a mother, and the spirituality of true light, just something like that. Yeah, just a quick snapshot, and then we'll go from there. Is that cool?
Sure.
Great. All right. Hi everyone, on the next episode of The Uma Show, I'm going to be speaking with Goddess of Go-Getting, Dr. Lina Banerjee-Brown, who's coming all the way from California. She's an author, a psychologist, a mother, and spiritual practitioner of True Light. Lina, what are we going to talk about on the show?
My journey of being an immigrant and coming from India, becoming a psychologist, an author, a mother, and practitioner of True Light, my spiritual practice.
Wow, can't wait. See you on the show. Perfect, that's it.
Thank you, Rita. This is so generous. It's really wonderful work. I hope to get to know you a little more as you know.
Oh, likewise. This is, as I like to say, this is just the start of a journey, of a relationship. I like to see this as, just building. You are you have such a beautiful soul, Lina. And I feel it's like almost like a blessing that Ruma connected us, but it really is meaningful. So, I hope to, we'll stay in touch, we'll chat more. Yes. I'd like to even explore ways that we can do something together, because I love the work that you do. It's so truly inspiring. And if there's anything I can do to be of service, to help, whatever shape, way, or form that may take, I'm there for you. So love to explore.
That will be amazing. That'll be amazing. I think, maybe at some point when in the near future, when maybe we could talk about reflection circles or light and reflection circles, if there's, any synergy there.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we'd love that. That sounds great. All right, Lina. Well, thank you so much. I will let you get on with your morning. I know it's still bright and chirpy early for you. So thank you again. One thing I would like after the show, we're going to be doing the pre-marketing and everything. If you could send me just a headshot of yourself, that would be great, because we'll be using that for the flyer and things like that. And we hope to get the show up probably hopefully in the next couple of weeks or so. Hope to get it out.
And who watches this, Rita?
Oh, so it's aired by Mana TV International. So really, the entire audience of Mana TV in the US, around the world. There is a platform called Yup TV, which is kind of an app. So it's like a Netflix, if you want to think of it, but it's very big in Southeast Asia.
Oh,
Folks, watch Yup TV, and then we separately put it on our own YouTube as well at UMA. So all of our audience as well, young youth, young girls, women out there would get so inspired by your message. So those folks, and we always encourage folks to share. So I'll share the YouTube link with you. Subscribe, share, spread the word. Whoever's voices we can touch, the more that we're making change happen. So
absolutely. Thank you so much. Yeah, what
thank
a
you.
dynamic
Thanks
presence
again.
you are. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Lalesh, done. You can send me the YouTube. I'm going to send you a message in case you cannot see this. Let's see.